Today in the crypto space, we're getting a bunch of volatility. Bitcoin back above the $88,000 mark, up approximately 2.5% to 3%. Ethereum getting a bit of a bounce, up approximately 2%. And the altcoins, a mix of green and red. However, some good recoveries throughout the market today. In today's video, I want to talk about the general market. I want to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator. But more importantly, I want to talk about one OG project. And that project is called VECHAIN. So you know what? Let's talk about the news. Let's analyze the charts and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome. On the channel, we talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins, looking for opportunity. Whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish, it doesn't matter. All we want to do is stay one step ahead of the market so that we can capitalize on any of the volatility. And if you appreciate the strategy, subscribe to the channel, click the bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams at 8 p.m. EST, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Guys, if you want to follow me on the socials, the links are in the description. Better yet, guys, join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. All right, guys, let's begin. Let's see what's going on here. The market is definitely volatile today. We were coming down earlier on this morning, and all of a sudden we got a nice little recovery on a nice pivot. And of course, if you've been on the Discord today, guys, I gave you the signal. I gave you the option. I gave you the option to get a little bit bullish here for a bit of relief to the upside, and we did get that follow through from Bitcoin, which is really nice. And we got a lot of the altcoins, pushing up to a little bit of a move, which I appreciate as well, because I have been scaling into some positions into Shadow and a few others. But Shadow right now is a project that I'm slowly scaling into, and finally, maybe a bit of recovery here could definitely put me into some green and the rest of the portfolio as well. Our portfolios right now are looking pretty ugly, I get it. But guys, as soon as you think it's ugly is when, in fact, it starts to turn green. Maybe we get a bounce here, and maybe we do get a recovery here. Lots of maybes, but I can tell you one thing for sure. If Bitcoin gets a confirmation low at these levels, it's very likely that the bottom is in. And I'm not talking about this bottom that we're currently seeing. And of course, we'll take a look at the Bitcoin chart in a second, just to use it as a leading indicator. And then we'll jump right into the VECHAIN chart. But if Bitcoin holds this current bottom and confirms the previous bottom as the absolute bottom, guys, it looks pretty good for Bitcoin and Ethereum and the rest of the crypto space. And it's very likely that we start to see some strength. Okay, guys, so we got a lot coming around the corner. Obviously, Friday, we got some news coming out from Trump. Let's see what kind of announcement he comes out right there. We know that a lot of the times when Trump speaks, we get a lot of volatility. So prepare both to the upside and to the downside, as you expect. Right, so we're definitely going to try to stay one step ahead, guys. Join the Discord. It's free. We talk about crypto all day long. We get each other's back and prepare for any of the volatility to come. So feel free to join. All right, guys, as you can see, we're going to scrape through the top 100, and then we'll jump into some charts. You can see we're getting a bit of relief, just a little bit. Obviously, we're not going to totally celebrate here, but we can be quite happy with the fact that some bounces here are putting us back into green. I love the Cardano bounce right now. It's up 8%. That's amazing. That's great. Guys, I'm bullish on Cardano, much more than I used to be, that's for sure. And obviously, a lot of good altcoins are doing well. We get a Chainlink still hanging out here at the bottom. I'm hoping that Chainlink gets a better bounce than expected. Chainlink could be a good project, and of course, we're talking about America-made, obviously, projects, maybe taking some of the limelight in the next little while, which could be a focus. It should be a focus in the next little bit. And I'm expecting a lot of these projects, a lot of these companies, because at the end of the day, that's what they are, teams moving back to America. And it could be very possible that we see that in the next little while. So just keep in mind, this Made in America idea could definitely be bullish for the space altogether. We have still some red, obviously, from the earlier on this morning dip, but we are getting a bit of recovery regardless. As you can see, that few little spikes to the upside, so on and so forth, some more than others. But on average, the market is still very indecisive. The market is still very, let's say, neutral. Not up, not down. And at the end of the day, recoveries are welcome. And understand that, you know, confirmation lows are also very welcome, but also confirmation highs can confirm a continuation to the downside. And I think that that's the biggest concern across the market, that even if we get a bit of relief here, it's just another lower high for another lower low, and the trend is still to the downside. That is the biggest concern for most of us, obviously for myself, and this is why I am DCing nice and slowly, building spot positions. And if I'm getting into any trades, it's quick scalps, be a ninja, get in, get out, raise that capital, and deploy into spot on any high conviction plays that you may have. All right, guys, so that's the market really today. Nothing really crazy, a little bit of relief here at the tail end of the day, but nonetheless, guys, be prepared. All right, guys, let's jump right into some charts. I know you're here to talk about price action, so let's begin. Let's take a look at what Bitcoin's doing. Bitcoin, in fact, is the chart is the one that is really causing us a lot of confusion, because we've been getting a lot of volatility and a lot of people calling manipulation. It does look highly manipulated at the current moment, but the question is, why are they manipulating the Bitcoin price, and what are we going to do about that? Let's take a look at this in a little bit more detail. Guys, we have to understand that if we do feel that the price is being manipulated, there has to be an agenda for that manipulation, whether it be accumulation, regulation, whatever the case may be. We've seen it all here in this space, especially this cycle. This cycle has been ruthless. And I know my chart right now does look like a bit of a mess. I'm going to throw that out there. Yes, it looks like a piece of artwork at the current moment. But this scenario right here is giving me a clear indication of what I need to follow in the next little while. Now, we have to understand manipulation brings opportunity as well, and it gives us a signal as to why people are manipulating. And sometimes we don't even need to know why. We just need to know that manipulation is happening, and the fact is that manipulation could just be bottom line, basically involved based on accumulation. They want to accumulate, so let them accumulate. So what we're doing right now, if you look at this bottom, we're trying to hold this bottom. We're trying to stay above the $85,600 level. This is a very important level, as I mentioned. We came down, filled the CME gap. We came up, filled the other CME gap. We bounced, and now we're currently bouncing around this level. Now, the daily time frame is quite interesting because we finally got oversold, and now it looks like we're trying to get overbought again. Now, if we can get overbought, it's likely that we see a major move to the upside, but we have to know that this is the daily time frame, and a pivot point structure could take some time here on the daily. Okay, so what I'm talking about is this right here, right? This level right into this zone, and you can see that the momentum is pushing to the upside. Fine, but the price is not really doing that. So we're still in a very divergent mode, in the sense that the price is not really registering or getting its follow through from this momentum shift. Right? We can see that the trend oscillator is also facing down with red histogram bars. What I'm trying to say here is, on the daily, we have time. We have time on the daily to see exactly what happens. Guys, we could come back down, and we could definitely hit 80,000 and come down to these levels. Once again, based on daily time frame, we can have intraday price action that's still very volatile. So the daily is still okay. What I'm saying is the daily is moving to the upside. We're almost overbought regarding volatility. I would like to see what happens on the bearish response when this volatility comes down. Again, maybe we can go enter some longs to the upside, and the reason being is because momentum is now shifting to the upside. Right? Purple line is moving up. I want a long. Every time volatility gets oversold, I want a long, I want a long, I want a long. And hopefully we can catch a nice breakout, a breakout, a breakout. And for me, that's all it is. It's about buying horizontal supports. Every time we get a full reset of momentum, I want in. So I'm going to be very patient here. And this is the daily. The daily's bigger moves, bigger price action, more, let's say, lucrative positions get built on the daily. Now, the 4 hour. This is what the magic happened here today. We got this magic today. And obviously, guys, I let you guys know on the Discord. If, in fact, you can see here that we got a nice V recovery and around the bottom. I've been talking about this setup and this structure for the last couple of days, even live last night. We were talking about the necessity of a change of character here, the necessity to get a confirmation low, a higher low, the necessity to get a nice rounded bottom, the necessity to get back above 85,600, above the volume gap, and back test and swing failure. Guys, it's very necessary for the Bitcoin price to remain bullish given this type of price action. So it's looking pretty good here on the 4 hour. Okay, we also have to see that volatility did get reset. Momentum is still in an uptrend right now. It did get overbought. My concern is that if we come down and get oversold on the momentum, so it's a little bit of an iffy state because we already got overbought. Is this done? Is the purple line now going to want to come down here? You know, and that could be the case where maybe we come down for another little dip and still make a higher low comparison to this low. That's where the magic happens, guys. We want to overall end this scenario right here as a higher low in comparison to this low, and of course a nice rounded bottom, guys. So we can call this an Adam and Eve structure. V recovery, rounded bottom, those are great pivot point structures at horizontal support. Again, the yellow line above the volume gap, that is great. Now of course it's a bit of hopium, I'll be honest, it's a bit of hopium, but it's still very valid. It's still very valid, guys. The sentiment out there is really low. The fear is out there, guys. Fear on the streets is crazy. So much blood, so much uncertainty, fear and doubt, so much happening out there that it is an ideal time to deploy, and that's what I've been doing today, deploying capital. So again, look at what's happening here. Now if we look at the 1 hour, this is where things start to look interesting today on the Discord. And again, because we have to be ninjas here, it's very viable to get into the lower time frames, and I'm going to start posting these on the Discord a lot more often, especially as I enter trades for quick moves. And as you can see, we got signs of divergence right into here, and as soon as we got this class A bullish divergence, oversold conditions, EMA cross on the histogram bars right here, we started trekking to the upside, and boom, we got the expansion. I posted this on the Discord right around this level, and we got the full move. Now guys, it's kind of late to get into a fresh long. It's kind of late. So what we would want to see here to get into a fresh long again, to continue to the upside based on what we've seen here and all the divergences in the 4 hour and on the daily, is to see volatility reset and go long again here as momentum, you know, gets overbought. We want the purple line to get overbought. We're going to use the same strategy that I've been showing you on the 4 hour and the daily. But we're going to have to wait for volatility to come down, which could give us a perfect backtest confirmation right around this level, point of control. We have the yellow line, which is the volume gap, top of the volume gap. If we can get some support here, that would be awesome. We get full reset here on momentum, we get in some longs, and we continue for another higher high where we can start breaking higher. Empty volume gap, definitely an opportunity for weakness. As you can see, the price action went straight up and then obviously straight down, leaving very little consolidations along the way to act as resistance on the way up, which is ideal if we want to continue this rally to the upside. I just feel that at this zone, a bit of profit taking for a pullback down, even down to the 0.382 is absolutely healthy. Coming down to the 0.382 and at the worst case maybe a 0.5 fib Fibonacci may be the case right around this level, and then obviously a reversal. We could get into lower time frames and time that reversal as well. But ultimately, I would like this to get oversold. I want volatility to get oversold first before I start considering, you know, any structural changes. I want structural change. I want change of character once we are oversold. For me, that is the ideal scenario. So orange line, let's get oversold. And last but not least, look at this. EMA is facing up, green histogram bars to the upside on the 1 hour. So we're definitely still, it's still viable to enter long positions as long as we can get a bit of a reset where we can know we're not buying tops and we're not going to be exit liquidity for profit takers. We're going to let this thing retrace at least down to the 0.382 and then start building positions as we get a confirmation of a bit of a bottom right around this level. If it happens, it's all about if, guys. I don't know. I can't tell you the future, but if we do get some support here, guys, I'm going in. It could be even considered a nice cup and handle right into here. If it's not, I know it's not that rounded, but it doesn't have to be perfect. It's good enough. And even a flag, a bull flag after an impulsive move sideways, a bit of a consolidation right into here where we can put a stop loss and expect a continuation to the upside eventually. Guys, that's all we really want. We want quick moves, be a ninja, get in and get out. And in the meantime, we have to ask ourselves, what are we doing with the altcoins? And this is obviously why you know, this video is all about VECHAIN, is because VECHAIN has been very quiet. And what I like about it is it's still making tons of noise from a marketing perspective. And I've been saying this quite a bit lately about VECHAIN, how, you know, VECHAIN has been really active within their marketing strategy, even within a bear market. You know, VECHAIN's everywhere. The latest, you know, news is that it is a sponsor with you know, Dana White, you know, with MMA and all of that good stuff, which is great, for VeChain to get that exposure into the sporting industries. And there's many other sports that VeChain is all involved in, but definitely UFC is a big franchise that could put a lot of eyes on VeChain, and VeChain being one of the OGs in the space and still hanging around and getting that type of publicity could be a good one. Now, we know that VeChain's not a pump and dump scheme. We know that it's a viable project, right? It's not a made in America project. It is a Chinese project, but still nonetheless, it's still very valid, because I'm expecting China to make a full pivot and to get on full bullish crypto eventually, and to follow the same lead that Trump is doing, making, incentivizing Chinese projects to continue developing in China itself. It would be ideal for that to happen. And when there's healthy competition, guys, who are the winners? The healthy competition, the consumers are the winners. And I know maybe we're not consumers in this case using the VeChain per se, but we are investors. And at the end of the day, if we're investing and buying crypto that relates to the users, and users are, benefiting and happy to use the software utility, guys, ultimately we benefit. So I'm liking what VeChain has to happen, what VeChain is doing here. It is one of the larger projects out there coming out of Asia, which for me is bonus. And nonetheless, the fundamentals are key. Now, I like the price action as well. Nice, healthy retracement. Every time we came down here, it was a great time to buy. I bought here. This is where I loaded up. This is where I bought some more. And now we're holding, right? We have to understand that we're holding at this level. I am not necessarily going to buy more here, because I still have a decent sized bag. But I'm telling you right now, this is a level that if you are interested, you should entertain a bit of a purchase on VeChain if you are fundamentally bullish. The fundamentals are key. The fundamental part is important, because I can't convince you on that. This is not my role. My role here is to let you know that if you are bullish, the price action is giving you an edge. And the edge is that you're hitting support very soon. And it's not like it's a major level of support where you have tons of conviction. What I'm saying is that you have a bit of liquidity that's growing up in here, as you can see, that could act as support based on the point of control, based on the previous bottom, based on this diagonal line that is a bit sloppy right here. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to clean up this chart, because it does look like a disaster. And I know I'm a bit sloppy with charts. So let me get rid of some of this so we can make this a little bit more clean. So we can see, and you can see I do all of this live for you guys. So you can, so the TA can be held accountable. It fell through the volume gap like crazy. Like, look at that. Beautiful. Now we're coming down for lower lows. Now all of a sudden we contemplate on whether we can make some higher lows. And we're getting a bit of divergence right here, as you can see. Lower lows on the price action, higher lows on the momentum. My only concern here on the daily is that we did not get oversold, right? This is part of my strategy, is to wait for conditions when they get oversold and then look for the divergences. And then after the divergences, you look for change of character. After change of character, you buy the backtest and the confirmations and the breakouts, right, on lower time frames. And then you deploy and deploy and deploy. You build that position for the move to the upside, for the follow through. Right at the current moment, we're not even oversold. However, we're getting a bit of divergence. It's either Class C or Class A. This is a slightly higher low, guys. So I'm going to classify it as Class A. But I know some might say, okay, it's not completely a higher low, but whatever. Even if it's double bottom, that means it's a Class C. No big deal. Still divergence. We have divergence here on the trend. You can see Class A bullish divergence, and this expansion is a lot weaker than this one. As can be seen, it's smaller, and all of a sudden we're making lower lows and maybe a bit of follow through for a bit of relief, even if it's a bit of a pop to the upside where we come up to this level and come back down and back test and then maybe break out. Ultimately, this is the level of which we could get some support here on VeChain. That's what I'm trying to get here. Now, could we come down further and get oversold? Of course, guys, and that's when you have to really be critical about where you put your stop losses and defend yourself. The ultimate level at this current moment for stop loss is all the way down here at about 0.01875. Okay, that's the ultimate level based on these bottoms. And I might as well get rid of this as well. This horizontal right here is just cluttering up the chart. So let's get rid of it. And you can see that this is the zone. Now, if we do break below, we can start looking left. We can look left, and you can see there's support levels below, but one step at a time, guys. At the end of the day, what we're really battling here for is a higher low. We do not want to break below this cluster of supply and demand. We want to stay above it, and we want to close candles above it. We want to get a pivot point structure above it. We want to get the change of character above it. So far, I can just say this with certainty, that we're still making lower lows and lower highs. Okay, so the risk you take right now is that it continues the trend and gets oversold. However, we're at critical levels. So it's like, maybe it is risky, but just because it's risky doesn't mean that you can't dabble in. You can't start building a small position. And that's the thing, because what about if it does reverse? What about if this bullish divergence actually gets its follow through? Then you'll have no exposure. And it's best to have a bit of exposure just in case, even if it's a small bag. Okay, let's take a look at the 4-hour real quick. You can see lower lows in the price action. Tons of volatility here, as you can see, up and down, whipsaw price action, straight up, straight down, getting longs and shorts wrecked, which is not great. But at the end of the day, we see that we're in a downtrend, which is what I'm trying to say here, guys. It is ideal. It should be on a watch list, but we're still in a downtrend. VECHAIN is a beast. Ultimately, look what happened in the previous bull run. It did very, very well from a price perspective, and I'm expecting it to continue making these higher highs and higher lows. But at the same time, you know, when opportunity for market makers presents itself to cause a bit of emotional volatility, I'm expecting maybe a liquidity hunt down here. I could see that happening. So many people trusting these higher highs and higher lows scenarios. I'm expecting bigger positions being built here, and maybe market makers causing liquidation before it runs to the upside. So be prepared for it. All I know is that you can see you're not exit liquidity here, guys. You're not buying tops, you're buying bottoms, and you're looking for that bottom and for that structure. And every time it came down here, we tend to get it. So history has shown buying the dip does pay off. All right, guys, if I've offered you any value in this video, do the channel a massive favor. Slap the like button. It does really help out with the algorithm. If you want to follow me on the socials, the links are in the description. Better yet, guys, join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. Guys, I'll see you tonight at 8 p.m. EST, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Take care, guys. Have a good one. And don't forget, buy the dip.